editing. We didn't want to do that until we have collaborative editing. And it might be helpful too to look at some of the jobs to be done for the wiki. So last year we pulled the wiki out of maintenance mode. So it had just been like sort of sitting there stale for over a year, and decided to do a couple research studies. And from these research studies, we were able to derive 9 jobs to be done. Thank you, Danica, for the support on that. So a lot of the items we've begun to tackle, but here they are, like wiki search was a huge one. So this sort of relates to that sidebar functionality, like, oh, I created 50 wiki pages and I need to find the context, or that page I created 6 months ago, and it's really challenging to do that. Page user permissions. We just talked with a large airline customer of ours, and this is something that they're really wanting is more granular page user permissions. Wiki templates, which we've just released recently. So you're able to actually create templates. I'm really excited about this one because it's in the same theme of like improving our wiki for non-technical users. And our ability to create templates in the wiki is now easier, it feels, than even in issues or epics. So that's a really nice add recently. Number 4, and this is more for like enterprise customers in the future, is wiki page analytics. So, how often does someone read this page or click into it? That's really valuable. Number 5 is integrating wiki across other GitLab areas. We've started to approach this where you can now essentially mention a wiki page in a comment on an issue, and that allows you to sort of connect that knowledge to the rest of the agile planning process. 6, and more of a lower priority for us, is improving the Confluence connection or importer. 7 is improved documentation and version history. This is another thing that you'll find is sort of hidden in the wiki, is all of the history and changes, and it doesn't necessarily feel super user-friendly. So yeah, this could be another point to touch on as you improve the usability, is like how this looks and feels to non-technical users um, is something we want to improve. Number 8 is real-time collaboration. So I feel like a lot of people know that like in Confluence and tools like Mural, like it's really nice that you can work with your teams together on one document or in Google Docs. And so we would love to implement this on the wiki because we feel like a lot of the meetings and things we do at GitLab could be moved to wiki into these pages rather than living in Google Docs. So it'd be a great way to dog food. And then number 9 is comments on wiki pages. So creating like threads to have like open discussions or forums related to the knowledge itself. Yeah, are there any questions on like sort of what we've identified here as like the biggest problems? And this also will help just connect like while you all are doing the work, like what's most important.
I guess for me, like yeah, it's super cool to see that overview. I guess for me, I wrote down the one that you just mentioned around making the revisions potentially easier to find, history in the revisions. I wonder if any other from these stand out for stuff that we would do. Some of them feel like quite big building blocks. Also, some of them are recently done or in progress. And we're going to be kind of coming around you and helping to, realign headers and buttons and where things are, just kind of consistency and that kind of stuff. As our team kind of refers back to this as the milestone gets started, is there a few that are kind of like especially ripe for us?
Hamachi, do you have any thoughts on that?
Uh, uh, yeah, not really on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. These all seem like more of like the foundational like feature pillars than necessarily like the things that we would fix, but we will be fixing them around, I'm sure, these main jobs.
Yeah. Um, so this is what the wiki looks like today. And what I've sort of done is just like grouped a few things under the sidebar here. What's nice is that it uses the same, like you have the same ability to use the rich text editor within the wiki. What is sort of an addition within the wiki itself is the use of the draw.io integration. And this is maybe something that I would hope we could maybe emphasize a little bit more. Um, and I don't know, Himanshu, we haven't really talked about this much, but I've always sort of been curious if we could pull this integration maybe out into a more findable area. And for anyone that hasn't used this, you are essentially are able to create diagrams in this integration here and then input them into the wiki pages themselves. Um, but as you can see, like immediately some of the issues that pull up are when I click to edit this page, it then has this delete page functionality right here. And this doesn't really make sense to me, like why this is up here. If anything, I would want that like down here. Um,
Yeah, I
also,
also, sorry to interrupt you. I already added that to the move delete button issue because I already saw it like during the call. So this button would be grouped with save changes and cancel like we have on other pages. I see a couple of changes we have to do anyway on this page, right? Because we have to align it to other pages we have in the product. So clone repo button in the sidebar would be like a clone button like we have on MRs, which you actually get the instructions right away and not on a separate page, you know, that you can have easy access to it. The delete page button would be in the footer. We can make the WYSIWYG area bigger because this is the main task here on this page is added a page and the content area is pretty small. You have to scroll, so you can expand that to improve the user experience. So these are the kind of things we would potentially do on a page like that, right? You know, like improving small features, moving stuff, align things with other features we have across the product to make them align better across the board, to streamline features, so that people have the expectation of the same features being in the same, looking the same visually, and also being in the same spot. So yeah, this just to give you some sort of information, what type of work I would see on this page right now without looking too deep into this page, that you get like a sense of the work I would potentially do on this page. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
You can continue. I hope it's helpful.
no, that all those changes sound nice.
I also wanted to say a few things. Just looking at this, probably Sasha thinks about the same things, but it would be nice if Wiki SKU feasibility wasn't duplicated on top in the title, if it was just an input, like we have on the issues or something. And format and content take a lot of space if we can move them somewhere on the site, make them small. And so, yeah, you jump into this big area. Yep.
Sweet. Yeah, so there's not a ton to show. I think another area we had talked about was like page history. So this is sort of like another confusing area, or that it's like I sometimes feel like this could be another good place for deleting the page under this little area. But page history itself can be a little bit confusing. For like I'm just thinking about this from like a non-technical sense. If I clicked into this and saw like all these versions, like what do these versions mean? And the changes themselves, like it just feels a little bit like I could get lost in this area.
And can you
Uh,
give us a little sense of, yeah, I completely agree. Like it's almost nicer to know of like when the change was versus the version number as the main link. But I'm give me a sense of are people coming here to the history? Are they going back? Are they undoing changes? What's the use case for coming here?
well, a lot of this is important for auditing. So let's say I'm a manager and I have 10 people and someone made a change and maybe they accidentally put like non-public information in a page, or there's some type of, let's say, an HR violation. Like I want to be able to go back through and look at those changes, figure that out, Also, I want to revert to prior versions if the new documentation is wrong. And then it also allows you to like prevent bad actors if someone's going in and like manipulating documentation. And this then ties to permission. So at some point, like we need to, or we would like to enhance our abilities to like prevent or make sure people can't have as much editing access on single pages or visibility on single pages.
Yep, that makes sense. I was just confirming that there wasn't anything like that primary, like, creating, editing kind of workflow that needs this. Is more of, like you said, like auditing and if something comes up that needs it, you would go here.
Yeah,
Have
and
anyone?
oh,
Go ahead.
Vlad. It's all you.
Okay. Have anyone ever asked for the annotate on the wiki? So you can see kind of line by line when it was introduced or changed?
I don't think so. How much have you ever seen that request?
No, I haven't seen any such request, but yeah, I mean, I have to search because there are a lot of issues that still aren't in the epics. So it's possible that someone has actually made that request, but we just don't know about it.
I mean, ignore it if you haven't heard of it before. So let's move on.
I do think there's an expectation that the wiki will have similar like tracking capabilities that you would see in issues and epics. So I do think that that non-technical user you're talking about is going to be using those too. So I think having some continuity there is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost talking about, instead of it being on this page, it's like at the bottom of the wiki, kind of like on the issues, right? Of like, so and so updated description, and you could click to open. Is that the kind of change of flow you're
Potentially,
talking about?
I haven't heard this feedback, so this is anecdotal. We've heard mixed feedback on having it at the bottom like that, and sort of it gets very
It's
busy,
really long. Yeah.
really long, and people struggle with that. So I'm not necessarily saying the same exact pattern, but I think the functionality is expected and necessary.
Yeah, my concern with adding it is around the potential length it could get to. Issues and epics are items that you have deadlines for and eventually close, and that prevents these activity threads from growing to like, thousands of things. And we'll see sometimes on like feedback issues where, there's 1,000 comments and like rendering it or like loading it is a little bit slower. So wiki pages are meant to live forever. It's meant to be like long-lived documentation. So if we had activity threads for like 5 years on one page, like my question would be like, what's the value of knowing that, someone made a change 4.5 years ago, and we can see that on the page versus just in the history of the document. I can see both.
So we've looked at the creating page and some of the potential changes there. Obviously, we're looking at the view page. I'm curious in terms of other types of interactions or pages. I know I see in the right-hand sidebar, and also you have maybe a little bit at the top, but maybe just like jumping around. Like, is there like navigation stuff, or what's another part of Wiki in general that would be good to kind of look at?
Yeah, probably just new page. And so something I talked about prior was like when you create a new page, like you have to have documentation in here, like you have to have any text in here to create, which just doesn't feel like I feel like that's totally unnecessary. Sometimes like I just want to create like a scaffolding for a bunch of projects. So it'd be nice to just have blank pages. And then also there's nothing indicating here like that I need to do that. So if I didn't know that, I would just be like, why is this blocked? Like I just can't click into that. A nice recent addition is this template capability that Himanshu created. And it's been awesome. And I currently like the feel of where it's located. perhaps it's something that we could just cross-check against like issues to make sure like it matches where the issue templates are. But yeah, this is, I think for me, the biggest problem here is just trying to create the ability for blank pages would be really nice. Himanshu, is there anything on this page that you found clunky as you've been working on it?
Yeah, I mean, we have an issue to streamline it, like put title and format on in one row. I think that's something we can do, but now we also have a template drop down. So yeah, we have to like maybe think again. One of the feedback we receive a lot is that the content field is too small, because wiki page is more like a document which would be having a lot of content. So the content should be a bigger focus than rest of the fields.
Yeah, and I feel like that's Sasha, you sort of talked about that briefly on the other page. So this could be another area to emphasize that.
Is there a parent-child relationship? I see it maybe in the right-hand sidebar, but I don't see it on the creation page. You don't seem to be able to like choose a parent. You kind of have to do that in another place.
Yeah, you can choose it.
It's not very intuitive, but to add a parent, you just put it in the title, like slash the parent title
Oh,
slash.
Yeah,
oh,
Yeah, this one's not great.
that's
Yeah.
potentially I'm not sure, Sasha, if you see whether we could go that deep, but that does seem like a quite a nice change we could potentially make.
Yeah, there
Like,
is also a plus
Oh,
button when you
I actually
hover.
did not know about that, because I was working on some improvements for Wiki in 16.7, where we consolidated like buttons, and I always wondered how can I do like a sub page. Now I know.
mhm.
Or the plus button, right? Because
Yeah, it
Yes,
seems to fill it in for you. If you push the plus button, it like seems to populate the page, the title for you. Um,
it's confusing. Like it's hard to tell what to edit and what not to edit.
mhm.
Himanshu, is this expecting a very specific request when it's sent to the back end, or could these fields be separated on the front end easily and not have to do a lot of back end work? Or I'm just wondering, because we don't have the full back end capabilities, but seems like a nice change.
Yeah, we can separate them. In fact, I'm working on the feature where you can add title inside the front matter. And separating the title and the URL is also basically doing some magic on the front end and sending just one field to the back end. And I think we can do the same here. Instead of having just one field, we can split it into two, like having the parent directory and the current the title, and then we can think about it.
Yeah, that actually would also allow for easier moving a page around, right? So yeah, I think that's something we can maybe look into together at a later point, so we can figure out the way to do it, and we'll also look into the code to see if that's something we can do. But yeah, that sounds like something we really should, like tackle in the future, because this is really weird.
Yeah, we don't have a move page functionality. I think you're confusing the move issue functionality. We don't have any way to move a page. You can just rename, and you just have to enter a different set of slashes, and then it will move to a different folder.
Yeah, that's the current state, right? But if you would separate the URL, or having like as you mentioned, having like a drop down that you can say like this page is related to this parent, then you can easily move a page around, because you can attach it to a new parent and the page would move potentially. Or it might be locked. You can only choose it once. But yeah, this is something we can look into it. I will also have a look at this. Cool.
Yeah, I wish I could go
Related
back.
to that,
Oh, I wish I could see
related to that,
everyone's
there's
reaction.
the drag and drop idea too of the sidebar to reorganize and reparent and move
Mhm.
pages basically. I don't think we're there yet, but that I immediately thought that I could do that when I saw the sidebar, and you can't, not yet.
Yeah, you would assume that edit sidebar would actually allow you doing that, right? Yeah. Yeah, I had the same thought.
Yeah, we actually have a customer that is hoping to contribute some sidebar improvements. And so I've been chatting with them. So one of their preferences is like ease of access and like usability. So like being able to, drag and drop items versus, type in a new title.
And just so that I understand the way the right sidebar works, there's only one quote unquote wiki, and the right sidebar is currently showing all of the available wiki pages. It would start higher level and then there'd be sub pages, but there wouldn't be, needs for like titles in here, or like maybe there's more than one area. I'm just kind of curious. What I see on the right hand sidebar, is that the extent of all of the wiki pages in this project?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
There are two limitations though. The first of all, there's only 15 items that can be displayed in the sidebar. This was a performance reason. It can be solved by making the sidebar load async. And yeah, we can load 15, but then you can load more asynchronously as you scroll. And the second issue is that you can have a page and with the same name as a directory, so it will show up as two items. So the parent is actually a directory, and it could also be a page. So and there are many issues around that. So maybe we can look at that sometime later.
I see. Yeah. Okay. And if there's a main page just on just the wiki main page, I guess you would see all of the pages. Like you can have more than 15, I guess, right? But only the right sidebar only shows the 15.
Yeah, if there are more than 15 pages, you can go to wiki/pages to see all the pages.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so
Is
we're
there a
basically
link for this? Sorry, Himanshu, is
Yeah.
there a link for wiki/pages somewhere in the UI, I mean?
The link only exists if there are more than 15 pages in the sidebar.
Oh.
That
Well,
makes
what
sense.
happens when you just click wiki then? Like this page that we're on knowledge group home, but the parent of that, what is that? Oh, that parent is new page, not a listing of all pages. Oh, that's also a little bit strange.
Not really, because this wiki does not have a home page, so it asks you to create a home page.
Mhm.
Normally, when you click wiki, it takes you to the home page.
Yeah, this is a bad example.
Oh, you're creating a homepage. It's filled the title with the word home. Ah, I see. That's also a little bit strange. I see.
Yeah, so like it's wanting me to create a home, so it'll pop over here.
But you did create a homepage, you just didn't do it in the
Yeah, I had
spot that
already created one, and then I was moving things around, so
I
I
think that will happen though.
See,
exactly.
that's interesting. See, I would expect if I click on wiki in the left sidebar or there, I would see the overview of, I'd see an empty state, you currently have no wiki, create page. You would create a page, and every page you would add, when you return here, you'd see what maybe Himanshu was saying is the pages page, which is a list of all of the available pages. You could then like start clicking into those. So it's like it creates the homepage for you naturally and dynamically just by filling the wiki with pages itself. It feels like we were trying to do a feature, they were trying to do a feature here with like a specialized homepage, and we've lost the ability to see, the entire size of your wiki if it's more than 15 pages, and a couple of other weird interactions here.
Mhm.
No, you can still see the pages. It will show. You can just in the Zoom chat, you can look at. Oh, sorry, this is a custom wiki. I'll share another one. Yeah, in this wiki, you can see all pages. view all pages, the button shows up if there are more than 50 items. So this wiki has like 1,000 pages.
But how do you get here if they don't have more than 15?
You can't. There is no link to it. I think the reasoning for that is that there is no reason to see a list of all the pages because you already have the list in the sidebar.
Mhm.
Unless you edit the sidebar.
Yeah, then you lose.
Yeah, I think my point is mostly like this is an important piece of information that is maybe a little hidden right now.
Paul, I think you're on mute.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, and it's also just kind of a natural homepage without having to do anything, right? Like it's the beginning of the wiki. It's like what pages you've created. If it was the parent-child structure, if you want to add a custom block to the top of it or whatever, you start building your homepage around it. But anyway, that doesn't seem like necessarily something that we would be tackling, but that definitely surprised me for sure. Cool. We're basically at time. I think we have quite a bit of stuff from you, which is awesome. Thank you for that. You always have the opportunity, and please keep commenting in the Milestone issue with any other thoughts, any other links, get involved. The way it normally works is we kick off the Milestone. Well, even before that, we would have chatted with all of you, which is what we're doing today, kind of getting a sense of what we work on. When we work on the Milestone, we'll pick up issues. We'll ping you on them if they're bigger changes and say, hey, we're about to work on this, especially if there's an issue for it. It often gives you the opportunity to say, oh, don't work on this yet, which we kind of did all that planning today. So that's finished. Then as we create the MRs, we would be pinging someone from your group for reviews. That's normally how we do it. But you have the opportunity to say, if that's too many reviews, just use roulette. Do you have a sense of what you would like us to do? Do you want us to ping you on all of the MRs as a reviewer? And who would that be? Or do you want us to go through roulette?
Vlad, do you have a preference?
I think Himanshu already volunteered for this, and I also suggested that we can ping Yanis on the reviews. And that kind of makes sense, unless like those guys are overloaded, or like, I don't know, you can start with pinging us.
Yeah, you can
if
opt out
we are
afterwards.
at capacity. Yeah.
Okay, great. Sasha, any other kind of notes on how this will go down that I'm not remembering?
No, I think I will start digging into things as well a bit more Monday, and then I might like ping you all on some ideas, and then we can have a look at them. But yeah, like generally speaking, the first thing I would like to focus is to align the page a bit more to the rest of the product. That features look the same and they behave the same. Like I mentioned, like clone repo, for example, is completely different. It's on a separate page and stuff like that. So we can for sure improve those as a first step. They should be easy to do. And then I will ping you all on bigger initiatives or on bigger tasks. Should be enough work to do for a milestone. So
Yeah, I think I can speak for everyone on the team that like we're really excited about you all supporting this. The wiki is there's so much opportunity for us to improve it, and we're starting to get a lot of momentum from customers. And so anything we can do to even marginally improve the experience goes a long ways right now. So I'm really excited for the support. So thank you.
That sounds great. That's perfectly suited to what this group does. So we're also excited. And thanks for participating in this session. I think it was super fruitful. So thanks a lot.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.